Makes complete sense for Clemson to go to their two main scoring options. Whitehorn, Robinson, they do it in different ways, but they still get the job done. As that one off by Rice. Harris thought about it for a second, instead straight on triple from Whitehorn, you bet.
Back-to-back in the same spot. Whitehorn, she's feeling it very early in this game.
Mentioned how this is a Clemson squad desperate for a win, especially in ACC play. They've been in the thick of things against some ranked programs out of the get-go. They're playing with something, especially on the defensive end. That's really where this team kind of lacks in certain areas, Kalia, but right now, you wouldn't guess that.
You wouldn't, and even on the offensive side, Clemson likes to control the pace of the game early. Typically, they kind of sit back and sometimes just let the pace come to them. But again, as you said, they're desperate for a win, so they're coming out and controlling the dome so far.
Kennedy Perkins and Sophie Burrows checking in for the Orange. Spin move there by Robinson, and playing straight up, Alyssa Latham, last touch by her, one of the best shot blockers in the conference.
A better read by Latham, kind of understanding where Robinson's going to be, and Burrows coming over to help.
Underneath the basket, Kramer, get it to the top, and you can bet with how great of a dead-eye shooter she is, she'll put up triples in bunches. Foul called on the drive by Harris.
Harris, one of those explosive smaller guards that can get to the rim. In that last game, she didn't score until the fourth quarter, so she can see some free throws go in early. It's going to be a big confidence builder for her.
Harris, one of many players actually on this Clemson team that scored 1,000 career points, 4 years at Pitt in conference, and the fastest player in their program history with 700 points, 250 rebounds, and 175 assists as she connects on the second as well. Syracuse down double digits early. Perkins picking up her dribble. This is the time, Clear, where you really want to go to your go-to scoring options as well. On the other side with Woolley and Dyaisha Fair, just to at least have something brewing for the Orange.
Woolley creating her own shot right here. A couple tough shots taken by the Orange so far. Just kind of going ISO, not really trying to pass the ball around and get something going.
Ball sticking a lot right now, not on the Clemson side, as Robinson down low with that left hand. She's almost one of those players that, even though she's a righty, she does more of her work on the left side.
And she loves that left shoulder, left hand, left shoulder. That's something that Coach Jack said that they want to help defend today.
Points early for the Tigers, trying to stun Syracuse, especially on this two-game win streak. Kennedy Perkins middies off, offensive rebound for Sophie Burrows. Syracuse, a team that's top in the conference in offensive boards. Over 17 a game.
You said you kind of want to look to your main players, Woolley and Fair, very early. Woolley right there. Maybe I spoke too soon.
She gets it to fall anyway, almost on that floater type shot. Backing down to the post. Another shot by Robinson. Good contest by Latham, and it'll remain with Clemson.
The Tigers, again, just controlling the pace here so early. They're coming out really hot, and that's just something they're fighting for this win today, coming off a couple of tough losses. They really need this one.
Syracuse on the defensive end, long run. Kennedy Perkins, how about that pass by Sophie Burrows?
Great run by Perkins, and good find by Burrows.
That defense sparked the offense last time out against Boston College here at home. The same thing on another Sunday game. 3 straight at the Dome in conference play for Cuse. Really running the floor. Another shot by Perkins. That one off, but continuing to pound the glass. Second chance opportunity. Latham gets it.
Syracuse leads the ACC with 17 offensive rebounds a game, and it's not typical to see a small Kennedy Perkins get in there and get a second chance opportunity.
One of those gritty guards that doesn't really play a whole lot on the outside and doesn't have that 3 ball, but she is a player that Coach Jack expects to get down low and maybe create some action, as Elmore does the same thing on the other end.
Elmore, they call her Big Mac, actually, just being able to get down low and kind of play a role Robinson plays.
Block on Harris, about 5:15 left in this first quarter. Syracuse down 9, and we're still awaiting the first points for Dyaisha Fair. There has been some games, though, so far this season, though, Kalia, where Fair, she's been that second half player instead of right out of the jump.
Fair is one of those players that kind of likes to see what her team's going to do first, and she's just going to read what they're doing, and then she's like, all right, it's my time to shine. And again, those second halves are usually where she does it.
Really strong on the three. Rebound by Mackenzie Kramer. Kramer still looking for her first points, is also checking in. A Syracuse native, Danielle Rausch. Dribble drive. Right horn off, and foul call underneath the basket. So that'll take us to our first break, 4:55 remaining in the first. It's been all Clemson. 9-point lead for the Tigers. Ruby Whitehorn, back-to-back triples from the top of the key. Will be back. Who already has 8 points.
Whitehorn was a McDonald's All-American, and she was the highest rated recruit Clemson has ever had, rated 15 by ESPN, and she is coming out hot today.
Even if you look at her last 5 games, she's trending in the right direction. Almost 17 points, 50% from the field, 42% from 3. You see the season average not really at that same point. 5 rebounds and 2 steals. So the sophomore trying to continue her dominance in her second season.
Even this morning, Coach Butler said that she is a sophomore and she is young to this very veteran team. However, she expects a lot not only from her teammates, but from herself. So she's taking a lot more accountability and just improved overall.
Whitehorn rattles both home, now in double digits. As Syracuse is down by 11. Trying to come out of this break and make some of those adjustments. Even in shoot-around this morning, Coach Jack not very pleased with some of the effort out there. Maybe a change as Burrows off on the 3. Another offensive rebound. Loose basketball, and Maddie Ott, who just checked in, comes away with it. Whitehorn thought she had. I don't know how that wasn't a travel. Nevertheless, Syracuse gets it anyway.
A little volleyball action there.
Fair connects from the free throw line, her first points, and maybe takes a sigh of relief as you see a lot of her family made the drive from Rochester and sitting right behind the bench. And Yang kicking it to Rausch. The hometown kid hits on a triple.
Rausch, Michigan transfer that just brings such an edge to this Clemson team, as you can see, just all over Fair.
They're trying to answer off to the right of the iron. Most of the time, Syracuse has that one bucket that really flips the script and gets momentum on their side. Still looking for that. Maybe that step-back 3 for Fair is what Cuse was looking for. And shooting just 1 for 4 from 3 on the opposite end. 3 for 3 for Clemson. And Yang tried that shot a lot earlier this morning. Free throw line extended, but she missed.
Syracuse, you really want to push that transition. You don't want to let Clemson get back and be able to set up their defense.
Clemson defense dead last in the ACC right now, allowing almost 70 points per contest, especially more in ACC play itself. Foul on Robinson. That's going to be her second reach when Rice's drove to the basket. She really has to be weary as 2 more reserves coming in for Clemson with Harris and Kramer, and first time we've seen Sanaya Wilson as well as Georgia Woolley.
Wilson checking in early and earlier in some of these games, just been able to kind of demand the basketball a little bit more down low on the post.
Coach has got Jack just taking a long pause with Alyssa Latham, just trying to calm her down. The freshman having a great season, but playing one of the best bigs in the entire conference.
Fair not having a lot of options, trying to go ISO, but they're all over the middle of the paint.
Had to force up a shot with 3 left on the shot clock. Harris, the fast dribble move and a fast break opportunity. Easy lay-in, and Clemson 25-11, stretching that lead. Really trying to catch Clemson lacking. Here's Fair for 3. Still no good. Rice coming away with it, and foul called on the shot.
Good take by Rice, just getting it up and trying to get to the foul line. You see grabbing the board, dribble, trying to see what to do with it, throws it up, just trying to draw contact. A smart play by Rice, again, just trying to see some of the baskets just go in early at the foul line, get comfortable, get locked into the game, and just have another opportunity instead of just trying to push this onto Fair right now.
Alaina Rice started the season with 6 straight 10-plus point affairs, last one being 26, a career high against Iowa State, trying to get back to that as she's only had 1 double-digit game since. Goes 1 for 2 from the line. So that 13-point buffer for Clemson with just about 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Reserves out there for Clemson right now, but a group that still loves to shoot the 3, can shoot it efficiently. Syracuse really needs a stop.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Can Syracuse get a stop?
Rattles it home. Kramer thought that she could have got the and one. Another bucket for the Tigers. Fair thought about it. Instead, wide open shot for Rice, and maybe that last free throw is what she needs as she hits a triple from the corner.
Rice, one of those players that Coach Jack said has the green light to shoot.
Stifling defense from Dyaisha Fair. That's what she's done her entire collegiate career. Doesn't just do it offensively, can do it on the defensive side as well, and it's going to be a travel called. Syracuse make sure that that basket is eliminated.
Great read by Saniyya Wilson, stopping Harris in the paint and just showing her presence straight up. Really strong defense, up and down, just showing she's a big body, and Harris is going to have to get around her if she wants to score.
Saniyya Wilson starting to really come into her own as well. Great offensive rebounder off the bench. 25 in comparison to 28 on the defensive end of the glass. Most of the time you see way more defensively. Diving right there was Roush to come away with the basketball.
Roush is showing a little bit more of that grit each possession.
Went to Bishop Ludden High School nearby. A Class B New York State Player of the Year in high school. With her family in attendance today. We'll talk more about them as the game comes on. What a great find by Elmore. So now with 29 points, Syracuse, the most that they've allowed in the opening frame. Previous was 27 against Notre Dame. A game that ND ended up losing, but going to work down low. Saniyya Wilson trying to get Syracuse back on track. With the shot clock turned off, and Georgia Woolley comes away with it. Hits it as well. That really got the crowd back into it. It's a lot of fans on hand here at the JMA Dome. And they've been very quiet throughout this opening frame. And Yacht misses. One more chance for Syracuse. That was early with the shot clock turned off. Ruby White comes away with it. No trailer call as Dyaisha Fair lost it. 1 left on the clock. Roush doesn't have enough time to get it off.
Where her shooting spots are going to be as the game progresses, and then she fires up.
Stats that jump off the page as Harris lets it fly. Strong on that attempt, going to the Syracuse bench. Rouse tries to keep it in. Instead, it will go to Syracuse. Clemson shooting 65% in the first quarter. Syracuse 42, that's, you know, you can live with that, but when you're not getting any defensive rebounds, only 3 compared to 4 offensive rebounds, that inverse relationship in the rebound category, that's been happening a little bit more than often for Syracuse.
Something they've struggled with, and again, getting second chance opportunities is great, but you also want to get those defensive boards to go push transition, and they're a really great team when they can score in transition.
How about these closeouts on Dyaisha Fair? Just trying to find any room for her like Burroughs just did. Trying to get that one. Elmore rises for the rebound.
Clemson all over the scouting report for Fair today.
Elmore with another jumper that rattles home. Some of these shots, they haven't been nothing but net for the Tigers, but hey, it doesn't matter as long as it goes in, and you're looking at a pretty sizable lead right now in conference play.
The rim is working in their favor today.
Back to that 2-3 defense. We've seen at points Clemson be exposed with the zone, but so far today, it's giving Syracuse maybe a different look than they were anticipating early.
Syracuse settling for a lot of jump shots this game.
Elmore, another 3. Strong on that attempt. Dyaisha Fair getting 12 more for 3,000. And just the 16th player in NCAA Women's Division I history to do it in 26 if you count men's and women's. That just goes to show how impressive of a feat you could see here today. So So that was deflected. Even our referees weren't sure. 5 left on the shot clock. Woolley lets it fly from the parking lot, and another rebound for Elmore. Harris running the floor. That's the second time today she's had one of those opportunities, but couldn't get it to fall. Whitehorn again.
Clemson just wants the ball a little bit more. As you can see, Whitehorn fighting for that offensive rebound. Syracuse just doesn't have that same energy right now.
Maybe that's the spark they need. The long wingspan of Alyssa Latham comes up with the steal. Still trying to find a guard. Burrows, who's been red hot from 3 in her last few games, but a weary pass that goes out of play.
You can see Latham just looks kind of defeated after that. You know, it hits her hand, and she kind of just watches it go out of bounds. Latham is one of those players that's also super gritty, is all over the court, and today just low energy overall from the Orange.
That old saying that when you're anticipating a team maybe lower than you in the ACC standings, you don't give them that same level of preparation, and they came out and punched you in the mouth. How are you going to respond? And so far, hasn't seemed like in the second quarter, Syracuse is doing a whole lot.
And even earlier today, Coach Jack mentioned they're perfect. They have a perfect record on paper at home, but they're not a perfect team.
Still have a lot to work on, but Alyssa Latham on the defensive end starting to hit her stride. Jump ball and possession arrow going to Syracuse.
You really want Latham to kind of be the rim protector in this game today, having more size than some of the Clemson players, and again, just showing some of her grittiness.
Harris with the swipe and the score. You need another guard out there. It was Perkins all alone with her and Latham instead of another big anybody flashing to the basketball.
You need Georgia Woolley to fall back and help ball handle.
Watching the last few Clemson games, this is a team that has shown bursts of being a good defensive squad, but right now, this is their best collective effort so far through the first almost 15 minutes of play. Perkins getting it to Woolley, driving in with the right-hand hook shot.
Nice hug.
Having that finesse and confidence back is Woolley. There was a few games as of late that she really just wasn't herself. 3 points at UNC, 6 against Boston College, and in her last game against Wake, 7 for 10 from the field, 15 points. Maybe even just those shooting woes, but still when you're driving and they're not falling, that can be really tough.
And as we talked about earlier, she was having some struggles getting 15 points, and when she was shooting in that last game, Coach Jack was like, oh, she's back. You can see it. The shot fell for Georgia, and you can see the confidence back in her, but she needs to keep building that momentum here today.
12-point game. And Valentine just checking in, seeing a little bit from Amani Freeman as well, one of the reserve bigs for Clemson. Whitehorn again. Off from the corner, last touch by Clemson. So, Kalia, what else would you like to see right now from Syracuse? As it is a double-digit deficit. You've seen some sparks, but no sustainability.
Besides the defensive side, just trying to get somebody to just get up and play disciplined defense.
That also works.
That also worked. But in that game against Wake Forest, there was such even scoring because they were passing the ball well. They knew how to distribute to each other. They were getting more players involved in every single play. Right now, it's very stagnant. Just need a little bit more movement. And again, energy, as Coach Jack says all the time, is always the difference in any of these Syracuse games.
Common denominator, especially in conference play. This is an all-time series where Syracuse leads 11-2. They're 5-0 inside the Dome, but even winning on the road last season, you can throw all of that away once conference play happens because you never know what type of team you're going to get, especially a team that really needs a win. Really passes up a wide-open 3. Burrows again, still looking for her first three-pointer of the afternoon. A 10-point deficit.
The Orange settling for threes. Georgia Woolley didn't want to pull trigger on that 3 right there, but Burrows, she's one of those players that absolutely can get the shot off. But again, the threes aren't falling right now. You want to keep shooting out of a drought, but at the same time, you saw in that North Carolina game, they shot 33s against North Carolina. And Coach Jack said that's just not something that they want to settle for, and they'd rather take their chances at the rim.
Biggest thing is just that shot selection. Because you look at that 3-point field goal percentage right now, Syracuse not a team that's going to wow you from 3 so far this season at 31%. right at that total. Clemson, they're at their season average right now, 5th in the conference.
A lot of shooters on the Tigers team.
All around the floor, they can space it very well. And like you mentioned, points so far today, a stagnant Syracuse offense. Not a lot of off-ball movement. Bring it down low to Sanaya Wilson, foul called. And second personal foul for Clemson. It's a 10-point game. Syracuse trying to get something going.
You'll love this so much.
And some stunners in there as well, Kalia. One of the most competitive conferences. You never know what you're going to get, but I have to look at that Virginia Tech Florida State score right now.
These are one of those conferences where no matter where you go, you're going to have a tough time. When there are 6 teams in the top 25 in your conference alone, you have to be prepared for each and every game. And that Florida State Virginia Tech game right now, that's an exciting one.
Coming out of the break, 10-point game. 4:50 left until halftime. Syracuse starting to find their groove offensively as Latham misses the shot from in close. No second chance opportunity though. Latham putting on the spin move, finding the touch that time around. Woolley again and one. Second time today she's caught Clemson sleeping, and it results in a big boost for the Orange.
Earlier today, Coach Jack said that Woolley is just so contagious no matter what she's doing. If she's just performing, if she's not at the level that she's typically at, as you see Latham being able to get the finish right there. As you said, Georgia Woolley just being able to catch Clemson slacking a little bit. And these are those sort of sparks that you want to see for the Orange.
Georgia Woolley's still down after trying to get that rebound. She's in a lot of pain.
Looks like she's grabbing at her hand.
And that's a hand that you see taped right now, maybe jamming a finger, her thumb on that rebound. That doesn't look good. Missing the free throw, strong on it, and coming down the basketball with Roush. Yeah.
Just looks like she collides with Roush. And again, as you said, that's a taped hand. A jam finger always hurts. You see those two taped right there. Might have re-jammed one of those, but she does look like she's in a lot of pain right now.
Amari Robinson does get the layup on the other end, but Clemson 4 turnovers in the last 5 minutes. That shot by Robinson erasing an 8-0 run for Syracuse. Another pass inside, almost over the head of Wilson, staying with it. Fair lets it fly. Another shot off. Still a loose ball, and it's going to be a jump ball.
Somersault in there a little bit by Sanaya Wilson. A lot of bodies on the floor. Just shows that they're really in this game and they're here to fight.
Didn't know Syracuse got a gymnastics team. I've seen ACC gymnastics has started. Maybe Sanaya Wilson trying to start up a new D1 program.
She's waiting for her tryout.
A 2-sport athlete, as if she doesn't have, any free time. Back to single digits. Syracuse trying to get a stop. Strong kick. Kramer. She is such a pure shooter. Gets the shot off so quickly, but it's Clemson another chance. Beautiful find by Harris.
Pass.
Oh my, we had a perfect angle on that.
Beautiful pass. She saw the gap right there. Beautiful pass. I can't say it enough. By Harris right to Robinson, and a great finish.
So the court vision is Robinson and Whitehorn, both with 10 points thus far. Latham, team high 9 points for Syracuse, and it's going to be a travel called on Alaina Rice.
It's unforced turnovers like that in that travel with Rice that just really set the Orange back sometimes.
Fast break points, points in the paint. So many of these categories right now are so similar, but the biggest difference is some of the three-point shooting, getting to the line and just creating some more of those opportunities. Syracuse hasn't been able to really take care of the basketball at some points in time, and another dream shake-esque move from Robinson.
Again, that left-handed finish, that shoulder. She needs a little shoulder shimmy to add after that. Maybe a little Steph Curry shoulder shimmy.
Nobody can stop that shot from Fair. That's mostly her go-to. Poor shooting effort thus far. Still a lot of basketball left to be played. Kramer, wide open. She connects.
That is a player you do not want to leave open. As you said earlier, gets her shot off so quickly and has such a beautiful shot.
Gets her first of the day. Another 1,000-point score. Fair. It's going to be a foul call on the hop step, and Kramer comes up limping. Another foul. It's a good sign for Syracuse as Georgia Woolley will check back in, along with Danielle Rausch, the two that were in that collision.
Woolley, hopefully that hand is feeling a little bit better, shaken up a couple plays ago. Went back, saw the trainers. She looks much better right now.
9-0 run. Latham trying to end it.
Why not?
Latham now 12 points. Been a double-double machine and towards the end of non-conference play and starting in ACC as a freshman. Impressive stuff. Foul off the ball, Alaina Rice. And these are times right now you don't want to give Clemson any room to potentially get back on the free throw line. Still just 2 fouls for Syracuse with 2 minutes left in the second.
Good read by Rice. Just wanted to extend with the other hand, so she kind of avoided that foul.
Clemson team that scored 29 in the first quarter. Weaving through, strong on the layup attempt, but Elmore's there. Harris passes up on the 3, another drop-off pass. Big swat by Latham.
Welcome to the block party, Alyssa Latham. Harris driving, dish as she typically does. Blocked by Alyssa Latham. Another angle of that, boom, and that was all ball. That is a nice block by Alyssa Latham.
Her 24th on the season. Great pump fake by Rausch, 3 left on the shot clock. Harris still trying to create something, and it'll be a violation. Or Coach Jack, I was going to say, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't just let play on. Looks like maybe Syracuse almost had possession. Instead, it will be a shot clock violation. Less than 2 minutes left. If Syracuse can make this maybe a more manageable 6-7 point game, I think Coach Jack's going into halftime feeling much better about the first 20 minutes. Great pass. No look. Alaina Rice has pulled that out of her repertoire a few times this season.
Kennedy Perkins, she kind of returned the favor in Harris. She's like, you know what? You can dish it, but I can dish it too.
2 great point guards, pass first type players as Harris misses. Another great rebound by Latham. Perkins running the floor. I'll get it to Woolley, but pass deflected by Rausch. 2-on-1 the other way. Harris puts on the brakes. And now has a triple. She hits.
Great shot by Harris.
That one almost hit the top of the JMA dome. So much arc on that shot from the Pitt transfer.
Very good at setting her feet and finishing high.
Harris now with 9 points, trying to be the 3rd player to reach double digits for Clemson. Fake dribble drive for Woolley, off bail and shot, front iron.
Great rebound by Rice.
Another foul in the paint. But we've seen so much crash to the glass for Syracuse. And sometimes is that, Kalia, you're not trusting your shot right now. Shots aren't falling. You expect to maybe get a rebound? Because it almost feels like Syracuse, they're just not hitting on all cylinders right now.
They're not. And Syracuse is a team that has been really strong at getting those second chance opportunities. But again, it seems as though they almost don't trust their shot to go in on that first attempt right now, because it's sort of the same players that are shooting and then getting their own rebounds. And they're just trying to get those weak side rebounds as well. They're one of the best offensive rebounding teams. But again, when you're in a game like this, you need them to fall earlier than that.
Alaina Rice in her previous trip to the line today, 1 for 2. It's the first. 8 points now for Rice. 40 seconds left. Syracuse will get the ball back. Clemson trying to get an ideal shot heading into the halftime break.
Going to run this clock down as much as they can. Limit Syracuse's time.
Whitehorn. Rausch, the hometown kid, her second triple is off. Shot clock turned off with 11 left, and Rice with the basketball.
you have a quick opportunity to set something up, and Woolley just lets it go. Coming down, there was still about 11 seconds left. It's quick, but they had some time to slow it down a little bit, find what they wanted to do, or they had to push a lot quicker than that. Georgia just kind of giving it up in that last possession.
Georgia Woolley came into the day with the most turnovers on the team, 45, and you also have to think she did miss 3 games to start the season with that head injury. 3.7 left. Clemson. Hard screen, shot is off, and it's good!
Woolley laying on the ground as Harris got around her. Woolley getting a little beaten up today.
Told us was, yes, she understands that there is maybe some pregame jitters with this record here, but once she gets into the game and gets her flow, that's what matters most. Fans on their feet to open up the second half of play. Syracuse starting with the basketball. A whole lot of Kyra Wood in the first half. Even Amari Robinson only played 9 minutes, still getting 10 points and a quick whistle for Clemson.
Wood can be a really good matchup against Robinson and just showcasing her defensive capabilities. Again, she's 6'2", 6'3", but she said earlier this season that because of her wingspan that she can play 6'5", 6'7", and going against Amari Robinson, you're going to need all the length that you can get.
Such a high IQ player. Coming from Temple, second-year captain, kick to the corner. Really passes it up. She's been a little timid so far today. Wide open for Alaina Rice. Hits the backboard instead.
A shot that Woolley could have taken, and then right here, just a foul. Jump ball.
It'll be a jump ball instead. Georgia Woolley showing that defensive intensity. And even though she jammed that finger earlier today, still in all the action.
And that's something Woolley is really good at doing, even if shots aren't falling for her. She can go and get a defensive stop. She's very long. She can get her hands in the passing lane, and she's very gritty on the defensive end.
Too much room for Robinson, and another shot that rattles home for the Tigers.
Too easy for Robinson. It's a shot she can hit in her sleep.
Dyaisha Fair with the pull-up 3. That barely clinks. Syracuse, you can see, starting to stifle a little bit even after a break at halftime.
Even defensively, you don't see a lot of Syracuse players talking. You see Kyra Wood, she was saying something. But on defense, you want to be loud. You want the player next to you to hear what you're saying. You want to know when you're supposed to be switching. And the Orange just not having that defensive energy, not having that offensive energy. And coming out of halftime, you just wanted to see that spark for them, but maybe as the game gets rolling, they'll be able to do so.
That possession still resulted in a turnover for Clemson. Still trying to get the first points for SU in the second half. Really can't corral the pass, and ripping through Elmore. Clemson trying to run. Kramer back to Harris at the top. Wide open. Robinson gets Latham in the air, and just like they drew it up, trying to get it to their best player down low.
Smart play by Robinson. She saw Latham coming. Maybe could have gotten the foul. Latham just missed her as she was jumping and got that easy basket.
Robinson, a player that's scored 30 points so far this season, is another great shooter. She's been off the mark today, Georgia Woolley.
You can see Coach Jack putting her face in her hand as Georgia shot that one, just clinked the front iron.
Offensive rebound for Amari Robinson. Robinson gets to the free throw line, but how about this ball movement from Clemson alone? Never sticks, it's going around the perimeter.
Again, Harris, one of those fantastic facilitators, but they move the ball so quickly, and they love the high-low, especially as you saw earlier, they were practicing that between Mack and Robinson. Just being able to feed the post is really important for this Clemson team, and Robinson's a player you don't want to get to the foul line. In these past couple of games, Clemson has shot 100% from the free throw line, and that's definitely not going to help in today's matchup.
Well, now Clemson gets over the 50-point mark and also grows their lead, the largest today. Robinson connects on both. She's third in the conference and makes from the free throw line, so gets there at a pretty high rate. It's 2.5 minutes into the second half, and Syracuse still looking for a bucket. Fans are starting to get tired, and it's going to go the other way. Day Harris on both ends of the floor.
Jack putting her hands up, looking at the referees like, come on. Fair coming around. Wood just spins into her. Harris takes the charge.
Another 50-50 call right there, and Syracuse is trying to go full court press at this point, especially with the lead at where it is. 17-point game. You have to try to get stops and get quick points off of those stops on the defensive end.
The crowd trying to help Syracuse on this defensive possession right here. Give them a little energy to run with.
Going through the contacts, Ruby Whitehorn, she's been quiet since that quick flurry of points, 8 early on in the first quarter, but now she has 12. Fair, a little ISO ball. Complete 180 on the other side. Clemson, great passing. Instead, it's been all ISO ball, but Alaina Rice has the fans in the dome take their seats.
Rice with 3 fingers up. That was a nice shot.
Back down low to Robinson, getting double teamed. Sanaya Wilson probably coming into this game for sheer defense alone against one of the top bigs in the ACC, and Alaina Rice gets it to fall.
You can just see it in her eyes as she's running up and down the court. This is her game now. She's going to be the one to turn this thing around.
You see at the bottom of your screen, averaging 11 points per game, already at 13, and it's been a long time since she's been in double digits. It hasn't been a long time since Amari Robinson has been in double digits. She does it basically every night. So now it's the Rice show. Clemson comes away with it. Now Robinson, 8th game this season with 20 points or more and another whistle, and
Woolley.
Coach Jack wanted the jump ball.
Woolley just looking at the refs like, give me one. Really trying to be the defensive spark again. That last game, she was able to get hot again shooting 15, but today she's looking a little timid from the 3, so she's trying to get it done on the other hand, but tough run right now for the Orange.
Clemson didn't have an inbounder. One of the referees like, anybody going to take this out? We're not playing until somebody does.
Kind of how basketball works.
Going back to the basics. Roush already with 3 points in her homecoming to Central New York. Whitehorn playing a little 2-man game. Whitehorn again. Strong on the triple. Syracuse trying to move in transition. Spin move by Woolley. She's had that move a few times today, and the top free throw shooter in the ACC will take 2 from the stripe.
Woolley putting them in the spin cycle, getting it off. I don't remember it being laundry day.
Sometimes on Sundays, that's when I mostly do mine.
You know, I actually did put a load of laundry in today, so.
Going with this crowd on hand, some students back as classes will start on Tuesday. Martin Luther King Day tomorrow. Nice to get back to the basics, and our referee saying that's on me. Had a player that left and went out of the perimeter.
Good accountability by the ref there.
Gotta love it.
Gotta love it.
2 for 2 for Woolley is now upping that free throw percentage to 93.
Best on the team.
Best in the conference, too. Syracuse, last time they were down this much, had a comeback victory at home against Cornell the beginning of December. Right the same script here today. Another triple. Elmore strong. Kramer comes away with it. Yang gets fouled, and you can count it. Coming through with the quick tip behind the ball. 4:40 left, and we'll see Yang at the line after. Clemson still in full control here on the road at the Dome on ACC Network. Clemson outscoring Syracuse 12-7 midway through the third, and going into break, we saw yet another and one for Clemson.
In-Yang, one of those players that Robinson is kind of taken under her wing and has tried to get her to shoot a little bit more, and it fell for her in that one. A really great player, just kind of developing in her junior year.
From St. Cloud, Florida, doesn't get to the line a whole lot, averages about 13 minutes a game. He's now 7 for 9 on the season from the free throw line, but Clemson comes away with it because Harris just fills up the stat sheet. 9 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. Great job by Georgia Woolley to pick that pass off, go the other way with the right hand, and draws yet another foul.
Good read by Woolley. Being able to just get into the passing lane, she's so great at doing that. Seeing how many she has on her, taking it to the rim. Could have finished with that left hand, but you see it taped up, giving her a little bit of trouble today. So, you know, she does so well at the free throw line. Why not take them there?
Georgia Woolley connects on that one. Now, in 10 of her 13 games so far this season, she's been in double figures. There's just those few during that stretch in conference play at UNC and Boston College, where you even add those two totals, 3 and 6, less than 10. So they really need her point production, and it's been there today, but you're not getting it from Dyaisha Fair.
And again, those are their two leading scorers for the team. So when Woolley and Fair are both not having a hot hand, who else do you rely on for this Orange team?
What a move inside by Imani Freeman. Her first bucket today, the 5th year from Miami of Ohio. Another steal by Roush. Reach-in opportunities, and Alyssa Latham is about to check back in. Can't leave Kramer that much room.
Good hustle by Rice.
Rice comes away with it, trying to set up shot. Really loving to drive today. It was over the top of Robinson, not enough room. Sanaya Wilson drawing another foul, and for Robinson up to this point, she had 2 early fouls. This is her 3rd on the afternoon.
Good job by Sanaya Wilson, just reading that fell a little bit short. Going up, again, there was a player kind of in the way on the floor, and you can see she got fouled right there by Robinson. Her headband came off.
Sanaya Wilson, also a Rochester native like Fair, went to UB as well, Bishop Kearney High School. Player that's been utilized off the bench but still plays meaningful minutes, had 18 points against Ohio on the road in a win this year and 8 rebounds.
That was really a game that she kind of proved herself to Coach Jack, and ever since that, Coach Jack has just been really happy with the confidence that she has built. Says she still has a lot of work to do, but Wilson, just another option coming off the bench.
Wilson, 71% from the line this year, does get there a good amount, goes 1 for 2. So still, Syracuse has not had a field goal in over 3 minutes now at this point. Doing their thing from the free throw line, but you have to start to get points in bunches. So jump ball chance, Sophie Burrows checking back in. Wide open, Harris from the wing. No dice on that attempt, going the other way.
The Orange aren't doing a great job at boxing out in this game. There's a lot of jumping up, slapping at the ball, hoping you can tip it to the back of the court, but you need to rebound.
Well, that's how you get it, too. Long pass from Fair to Burrows, and we heard that net all the way from the table.
Splish, splash, Burrows. Great shot by the freshman.
Straight cash, Sophie Burrows, her 15th 3 this year. Georgia Woolley. You know, it's going to be a timeout called instead of the jump ball. Wow.
Coach Jack, 2 thumbs up, but she's really feeling 2 thumbs down about that call. She wanted a jump ball on that one.
So timeout. We will go to break. Less than 3 minutes left in the third. 12-point game. Clemson still up on top at the JMA Wireless Dome today, and also some of the conference best continuing to do their thing.
Hannah Hidalgo for Notre Dame. She gave Syracuse a run for their money when they were here. Syracuse able to pull it off. But she had 32 points in that game against Syracuse, and then today against Miami, 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 steals as just a freshman. She is having such a fantastic start to her career.
The Jetty with 31. That'll be Syracuse's next opponent at home on Thursday. So they're coming in off a very convincing upset victory in 2 ranked teams. But Virginia Tech, one of the best in the country. Coming out of the timeout, 5 left on the clock. Whitehorn trying to get something. That's going to be an up and down. Syracuse will get the possession.
Good take by Whitehorn, but Latham, brick wall right there. Good jump ball, getting it back on the other side.
That's what Dyaisha Fair right now, hitting brick wall offensively, just not being able to get any of these shots to fall. Now 1 for 8 from the floor. A lot of them being threes as well. She's getting good looks. It's not like she's really forcing much, but here's Burrows trying to get her second of the quarter and another miss. Roush hits her second back in Central New York.
See the Tigers getting up, chest bumping each other after that one for Roush.
Have to think maybe she grew up a Syracuse fan and how important this day could be for her. Her dad played at nearby Lemoyne. He's a Hall of Famer with the Dolphins. One of their best career scorers as a 6'6" point guard. He also did it on the baseball field too.
Yep. And then her mom also played at Lemoyne. She played volleyball. Coming from 2 athletes herself.
Important day for the Roush family as she checks out. Kramer comes back in. And Sanaya Wilson with her 3rd and 4th free throw attempts of the day. Wilson still making it that 15-point Clemson lead. It's a sizable lead right now for Clemson, but this Syracuse team mostly never says die. And you have to start to get some points here quickly at the end of the 3rd.
Syracuse is a team that's not going to give up. But again, as you said, they've got to get something going. You know, we've said that since the 2nd quarter now, almost the end of the 3rd. The 4th is they're going to have to turn it on.
Even have to think on the Clemson side that this is more for them to prove, as they've been around the block in some of these games, but haven't came out on top. So try to hold that lead. Long rebound, really corrals it. Flashing to the corner, Burrows. The Aussie connection, missing that 3-point attempt.
Griffin, like you said earlier, they're not bad shots that they're taking. It's just not falling for them.
Pass off by Whitehorn, and day where she has been kind of up and down a little bit, especially in this second half. Still a valiant 12-point effort, 4-9 from the field, but there's another turnover. She has a game-high 6 right now. Syracuse will absolutely take that free ball. It's Fair rising up, and she'll go to the line, and maybe that's exactly what she needs. And you can see Fair's family in attendance loving the call.
You know, they want this for Fair today just as much as anyone else, obviously, even more. And you can see her parents in matching sweatshirts today, mom and dad, so proud of what their daughter has been able to accomplish, whether she gets the 14 today or not. But again, just Fair trying to get a couple to lay in for her, get her 3 hot in the 4th quarter. And just someone, again, as I said earlier, she can get 14 in a single quarter.
Over the last 3 years, she has barely been in single digits in any game. Now just 10 away with 4 points on the day. Only game this year where she hasn't reached double digits. She came off the bench against Northern Iowa in a 9-point effort. See at the bottom of your screen, just 10 points away. She's a player that can really just let it fly and mostly has a positive result. Shot clock winding down for Clemson. Foul by Alyssa Latham on the reach.
Robinson did a good job at selling that foul right there. She swung it to the corner, reaching a little bit by the orange, but they're trying to do something defensively to just get a stop. Clemson moves the ball very well, very effectively, and it's very quick. So they're trying to get their hands in the passing lane as much as possible, but it resulted in a foul right there.
And sometimes Syracuse, they have been doing what they want to and getting hands in that passing lane. But when they're those long skip passes, you have to make sure that, you know, you're hitting ball instead of the hand, and especially with Robinson here, who is a player that can really hit a high clip from the line. As the fans try to get her shot off, doesn't matter. Robinson's second in the conference from the field at 58%. Now at 83%. I like the routine. Takes a few steps back, almost goes to the top of the key, then goes to the line. Hey, whatever works, as long as you're knocking them down.
Robinson, just a player that Coach Butler speaks so highly of, just on and off the court, She's a student, teacher, and she has a very strict schedule. Wakes up at 4:15 a.m. every day, goes to 6 a.m. practice, then is a teacher from 8 to 3, still gets a lift in, still gets video clips in, some film in, really the culture of the team.
Trying to keep that basketball in on the second chance opportunity for Syracuse. 12.3 left on the clock. Shot clock turned off. Try to end this third quarter on a high note for Syracuse as Maddie Ott checks in for Michaela Elmore. It'll be Georgia Woolley near the Syracuse bench. A whole lot of time, 14-point game to get up a shot here. Driving, Woolley kicking it back out. Fair lets it fly. She hits her first three of the day and puts her head down. She knows it.
She knows it. That's the one. That's the one.
What a way to end the quarter. A sigh of relief. The fans are feeling it. We're back to an 11-point game. 7 points for Fair. She's on the brink of history, but Syracuse, they want to get the career. She become the 16th player in NCAA Division I history to accomplish that feat. Bigger task at hand, try to come back against the Tigers. Bodies flailing, shot falls anyway. Another shot for Amari Robinson, who just continues to have 20-point nights.
Robinson, just such a difficult player to stop, and Coach Jack even said earlier, they don't want to stop her. It's hard to stop Amari Robinson. They just want to slow her down, but she's been fast tonight.
Woolley just trying to find any separation, had some extending on that free throw and fouls her own shot. Fair again, same spot, different result. That one was strong, but Syracuse will continue with the basketball.
Fair had such a sigh of relief in that last three that she made, feeling like she's right back in it. Gotta see him keep going down.
Clea, sometimes that's just how it goes. She's 1 for 8 from 3 right now in shoot-around today. Automatic, even in warm-ups today. But then you get out here in game feel, and you know, there is pressure with something like this, trying to do it at home in front of her family. And she said that she was a little bit nervous, and I think that comes with the territory. No knock against her. But another chance here. That shot was pure.
Water by Fair.
Oh, my.
Fair is one of the fastest in D1 women's history to 1,000 points at Buffalo.
Let's do it again.
Do it again.
Almost gets it to fall. This place would have went crazy.
Crazy. As you can see, her family all on their feet, right in front. Fair talking to her team. We've got this.
See the breakdown right there. It was a quiet second, but in the second half at least, we've mentioned time and time again, sometimes a player that just takes her some time to warm up and get those shots to fall.
And as you mentioned earlier, she's so stoic. But deep down, you know, there are nerves that come with getting 3,000 career points, especially at home.
Highwood can't get the foul call, but she snatches another one and still no whistle called, and it's going to go the other way. Bunch of misses, and Syracuse trying to go to the free throw line instead. We'll go to the Tigers.
Wood kind of flaring away from the basket as she was trying to go up back to back. Just threw her off guard a little bit to finish right at that top corner.
Latham with the foul, her third. She played 26 minutes today, so a high workload for her. Kyra Wood, we mentioned how she started today. She's been limited just to 6. And an undersized big going against Robinson, a difficult matchup, and that's why Robinson has 24 points. Another tip by Dyaisha Fair. Fair on the fast break, drops it off to Wood. And that's almost one of the cases where you recognize the record and you're trying to help your teammate out a little bit more than just going up and shooting that basketball.
The Orange play really unselfish basketball. As you can see, Wood, as you were saying, she wants to give it up for Fair, but she could have just taken that one on her own.
Another fast break opportunity. Syracuse comes away with it, almost cherry-picking Georgia Woolley. She was on the ground for a little bit. Great pass in, fires it to Kyra Wood and one.
Great finish by Wood. Been a little bit timid at the basket today. Wood just running. Woolley sees her, feeds it down low, sees Kramer jump up, draws the contact, finishes with the right hand.
You know what I love about that pass, Kalia, is it was high. That pass is low, takes a much longer to get that basketball up for the lay-in. Instead, Kyra Wood trying to convert on the three-point play. A little too much on it. Still sizable right now. Syracuse in striking distance. This is a Clemson team that has not been able to close out in these opportunities. Right around the 6-5 minute mark, they've been in a lot of these previous games that they have lost in conference play. Foul call, tangled up with Kyra Wood, and Robinson will see that free throw routine yet again.
Kyra Wood just trying to hold her own down low in the paint, but when Robinson is coming at you full force using all of her might, it's a really, really hard drive to stop.
She's a freight train down there. Miss Tiger, she is referred to as. 137 games in her lifetime with Clemson, 136 starts entering the day. That only game that she didn't start was against Syracuse back in 2020. Fourth most in program history, and she is just an unreal talent.
Miss Tiger, also all-conference Amari is another one that I've heard. And I think she lives up to the name.
Whatever you want to call her, as long as it's something that is good, I think she will like it, appreciate it, and it's warranted. 5 for 5 from the free throw line and a 26-point effort, very close to her career high. Woolley from mid-range. Back to an 8-point game. Even over 7 minutes left. Game hanging in the balance. You know where the ball's going. It's going to Robinson, and it is going to be feast day down low.
Robinson really, even earlier today, Clemson loves to feed Robinson to go ISO in the paint.
That one couldn't fall. That would have made it just 2 points remaining for 3,000 for Fair. Instead, it'll be a jump ball, and Syracuse has the possession arrow. Clemson talking things over, trying to make sure that they continue with this lead that they built up in the first quarter, outscoring Syracuse 29-19. Right off the back of Elmore, Georgia Woolley trying some trickery, and Coach Jack not very pleased about that.
A couple of tough plays by Woolley. That first one for Elmore, and then again just getting that foul. She knows she can play better than that. She knows she has a higher basketball IQ than that. Just trying to get her head into this game.
Not the time you probably pull that move out, and I think that's on the Syracuse bench, the collective palms in the face.
You can see the frustration on all their faces, starting from Coach Jack all the way to the end.
Harris dropping it off. Elmore with the left hand. Crafty move. Now to a 12-point game. Reserves coming in. Alaina Rice. From way downtown.
Rice has really been that spark for them offensively from the three.
Coach Jack takes the timeout on the floor and watching that one. Setting her feet, letting it fly for the triple.
Smooth shot.
So So we will stay here, back to a single-digit game again. And right around that same point, 8-9 points for Syracuse. Just haven't been able to get that any lower since the first quarter. Fans trying to do their part. And we will end up going to break. 9-point game, Syracuse trying to come back.
And you can just see it in her face while she's playing. She just wants to get this win so bad. And she really wants to help her team as much as she can.
Plays for so much passion. Syracuse going full court, dropping it off. Harris, Latham's there. Great contest, and the tip out to Fair. 4 points away. Burrows passed up the shot. Instead, it'll be Fair. Yes! 1 point away. And maybe the chance here. Dyaisha Fair, a 5-year career. She does it, lets it fly, hits the front of the iron.
She wanted a little heat check. She knows it, she feels it, she knows it's close.
Latham gets swatted by the bottom of the basket.
Fair saying, feed me the ball.
Wants it, she's feeling it. 1 point away from 3,000, and it's going to be a review for the shot clock. At that point, I just don't know how much time and how the referees would know at that point what it should be at. They're going to put it at 27 left for Syracuse. Everybody feels that history could be made. Kennedy Perkins, foul called on the baseline for the block by Ruby Whitehorn. More importantly, with Fair close to this record, she's also helping her team get back into this game. The more and more that she makes, it's cutting down on this deficit.
She wants it bad.
Perkins thought about it. Harris right in the grill of Fair. Fair again. If it would have been a 4-point play, Kalia, I would have lost my mind.
To get to 3,000 career points. You can see her dad, 2 hands up in the air. They're excited. They know she's going to hit it at the free throw line.
Almost fell. Kennedy Perkins, the pass. Fair almost got it to go.
Oh, rattled right in and out. Here it is.
Fair taking her time. The first, and crack open the record book and add Dyaisha Fair to the exclusive 3,000 point club.
It was members only, and Dyaisha Fair wrote her own invitation in. Only 15 players have reached NCAA D1 women's history, have reached 3,000 career points. And Fair joins along at 16 among legends, Maya Moore, Elena Deladon, Kelsey Plum, Brittany Griner. She's the only player at Syracuse and in the ACC that has reached 3,000 career points, almost 1,000 at Syracuse alone, and only playing, Griffin, what, 50 games here?
It's remarkable what she's been able to do, and she's given this team what they need to make it a 3-point deficit and try to come out on top and make this day even sweeter.
And defensively getting it done.
3 for 3 from the free throw line and over and back. The defense by Kennedy Perkins forcing the turnover.
The pressure by Perkins, staying on top of the ball. You see her foot just hits that backcourt. Great defense in the corner by Fair and Perkins together. And that's just as quick defense to offense. Can she hit it again?
Still with Syracuse. Burrows with the basketball.
Fair turned it on. Just like she always does. She turned it on. She flips that switch, and it's over with.
Only 2 points at halftime. And another one. 18 on the day for Dyaisha Fair, and it's a 1-point game.
Fair such an amazing player to watch.
An 11-0 Syracuse run over the last 2 minutes. He's got the orange, feeling it, and then swiping it.
Steal. 11 steals last season. Can she finish?
A chance to go to the line to get the first lead of the day by none other than Dyaisha Fair.
Fair. Say, give me that. Brings it down court. Gets it around Whitehorn. Tries to finish. Doesn't quite get it, but gets fouled. And where she reached her 3,000 points, she's going to try and do it again and put the team in the lead.
Dyaisha Fair from the free throw line, 5 for 5. Ties it up at 72.
You just see her family, smiles all around. The look on her dad's face when he knew it was 3,000 points. The smile.
How about the lead, too? 15th on the all-time scoring list.
I think they're
Cindy
taking that away.
Lane violation. Still tied up at 72, though. And 19 points, 20 points rather for Fair.
Now this is when Syracuse really wants to put pressure on Clemson that hasn't been able to finish their past 3 games and have resulted to fouls.
Almost with the walk, Robinson, bodies flailing. We'll stay with Clemson. But that's a great point, Kalia. We've talked about all day long that this team in conference play has been in the thick of things with 5 minutes to go. They've had leads, they've lost leads. And you had such a large deficit for Syracuse that they had to come back, and it's going to go to Syracuse anyway.
Dyaisha Fair, like I said earlier, leads by example. Fair just coming off of Robinson. Robinson setting the screen. Fair selling the foul right there. Jumps up a little bit.
It's a little more of a shoulder turn by Robinson. 3:40 left. Robinson with those fouls. Already 4. One more and she's out of the game. 12-0 Syracuse run. Fair! Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding? Her family's going ballistic.
Now her 10th game this year with 20-plus points.
Griffin, I think she planned this all along. I think she planned, you know what, we'll get into it. And then she's like, just kidding, this is who I am.
She's just having fun with us, but on the other end. Plus the foul, the 3-point opportunity from Robinson. The 2 fifth years trading blows.
Robinson getting it off high on the glass around Latham. And again, getting fouled on the ground, taking an extra second on the floor right there, but back into routine at the foul line.
Amari Robinson, 28 points, her career high 35. That happened earlier this year. Comes from a great family of players. We're definitely watching right now a good one between Syracuse and Clemson. Tigers stay with it.
Need a good defensive stop here for the Orange.
Another over and back by Roush. They're going to call the block instead.
Burrows disappointed in that one. That was good defense. That was good defense.
Be a block call on Sophie Burrows.
She's got her body into her a little bit too much.
Danielle Roush at the line. And her homecoming, 6 points. Mentioned her parents going to nearby Lemoyne and having great college careers themselves. And formerly a crowd that she was probably in cheering on the Orange is now trying to rattle her. There's 1 for 2. Clemson regains the lead with 2:51.
It's a game Syracuse wants to put away. Fair She's going to do it herself.
She came in the day knowing she needed 14 points to get to 3,000. She has 14 in the fourth quarter. Trying to add more. Kyra Wood! Her second of the quarter.
Big body in the paint. Kyra Wood. Wood sealing off the defender. Going back up and one. Good take by Wood. You see the smile on her face. She's like, yeah, I did that.
That's one way to get the lead back for a player that barely played up until the final 10 minutes. Ruby Whitehorn with that foul. She's done. Got to remember that Robinson, she has 4 too. So the two go-to scoring options in some foul trouble for Coach Butler's squad.
Foul trouble has kind of put this team in a hole in the past couple of games as well. We're talking about those final 5 minutes for Clemson. They've had to resort to fouling very late in the game, players getting into foul trouble. And Whitehorn, one of your best players, really strong defensively. A tough one to have come out with 2:30 left in the game.
Kyra Wood, 18 for 31 from the free throw line. Another hard shot. Alyssa Latham goes over the top, and it's going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow going to Clemson.
She wanted that. Couple boos from the crowd. They don't agree with it. Good effort by Latham.
1 point, Syracuse lead. What a good basketball game we have here today. It's had it all. The storylines going down to the wire between two ACC foes. Robinson for three. Her first of the day. Short and to the right. And Syracuse with a chance to build on their lead.
Clemson team trying to play together in the final minutes, especially with Whitehorn out. You saw her in the huddle still, trying to say, just keep going. You guys can finish this out without me, but it's a tough contest to finish out.
Dyaisha Fair wanted it. So does Sophie Burrows, but swarming any player on the perimeter. Kyra Wood can't get it to fall. She can get the offensive rebound and another and one. Good things come in threes, and that's what Kyra Wood's doing in the fourth.
You saw her shake her head and look at the crowd. She's like, there we go. Got her elbow around, kind of sealed her off. Missed it. Rebound. Finish with the right hook. You see another look at it. Great hook shot by Kyra Wood. And she's been all smiles after scoring. She's proud of herself. And she should be. Hasn't scored the entire contest. 6 in the fourth quarter.
Her first free throw, too, in all of those and one opportunities. Making them when they count to make it a 4-point game. Long pass to a wide open Robinson for about the easiest layup you can imagine.
Too easy for Robinson. Syracuse a little too high up on that press. Nobody was back to stop Robinson.
A 30-piece for Robinson on the road. Still looking for that first road win. They have the work cut out for them. Loose ball, Syracuse comes up with it, none other than Kyra Wood.
Now this is a Syracuse team you're used to seeing, this sort of grittiness and fight all the way to the end.
Off balance, doesn't get the call, tip out by Wood instead. Will be Harris against Burrows, embracing the contact. And a foul on the floor. A 19-5 run for Syracuse to get back into this game, and Clemson with a chance to try to do whatever they can to tie it up. On the bonus for both teams after that foul. Robinson, her first is good.
This is the most hyped the crowd has been all day since we walked in here. Leveled out a little bit. The stuff wasn't falling, but the energy is really high in here right now. They want Syracuse to win this game.
Robinson tying it at 79. Perkins trying to get it to the hot hand. Dyaisha Fair, 21 points. And a historic day for the fifth-year guard from Rochester. Kyra Wood has position on Elmore. Instead, it'll be Perkins to the cup. What a move. Timeout by Coach Jack. Syracuse on the brink of their largest comeback of the season. Mentioned earlier this year, the comeback against Cornell. The comeback kids in orange.
Perkins putting them back in it on top.
Officially being announced in the arena. Dyaisha Fair, 3,000 points. A lot of great signs as well. She also talked to us about wanting to do it in front of her family. That means so much to her. Her mom, 4 kids, doing whatever she can in Rochester, and a great story of Dyaisha Fair being that second mom for her siblings. And just look at this fourth quarter that Dyaisha Fair put on an absolute clip.
An unfair quarter. As I mentioned all game, she can score 14 in a quarter and just back-to-back threes. Fair does it so effortlessly. And then the foul shot. Look at her family, so excited, giving each other a high five. A family that's been through so much with her and has just been with her the entire way. And I know she's going to attribute this to her family, the players around her, and especially Coach Jack, who has been there with her from Buffalo, believed in her when nobody else did, coming into college, 5'5", and look what she's been capable of doing.
Now in sole possession of 15th with 3,007 points. Next up, Cheryl Miller, Reggie Miller's older sister, with 3,018 points for 14th. But Coach Jack told us earlier today how when Dyaisha Fair entered the transfer portal from UB, how every school in the country wanted her, from South Carolina to the West Coast and everywhere in between. And both of Dyaisha Fair's parents said, no, Dyaisha, you deserve to be going to Syracuse. And Coach Jack was the one that believed in you, like you just said. She's been with you throughout it all, and they gave her the blessing to come to Syracuse, and that's what Dyaisha did.
That shows Dyaisha's loyalty to Coach Jack, to what her family believes she should be doing.
2-point gain. Robinson for the lead. Yes! Amari Robinson. A cutthroat three, the first of the afternoon for her. What a special player.
All conference Amari setting the screen. I'll take that. Big three by Robinson. Getting her feet just behind the line, finishing high. Beautiful shot by Robinson.
So 35 points for Amari Robinson. Set that career high earlier this year. She's tied for it right now after that three-pointer. We're waiting to confirm that that was a three. Her foot was pretty close to the line on the right wing. Now Clemson out in front in this back-and-forth affair that early on, Kalia, it almost looked like turn off the lights. Clemson getting their first road win, but Syracuse has made it tough.
You know, Syracuse prepares for teams like this. Like I said earlier, you know, they have a perfect record at home, but they're not a perfect team, and they showed that right now. But they showed that despite their imperfections, that they can come together and get it done. Everybody on their feet. Shot clock, game clock difference about 1 second as Syracuse is down 1. What better way than to have Dyaisha Fair with the basketball? What about the three? Instead, she'll drive to Latham. Gets it to go! Great dish by Fair. Good look by Latham, and way to finish. In a day that's been all about her, when her team needs her the most to score, the selflessness for the extra pass to Alyssa Latham to put Hughes back up in front. Unselfish basketball is something that Syracuse prides themselves on. And Fair giving it up for the easy bucket by Latham.
7.2 left in the fourth quarter. Syracuse up 1. Kalia, I have to remind you, remember Clemson, during shoot-around was practicing a play for this moment.
In this exact moment, they saw it coming. They knew that this is a tough Syracuse team. Fell out of the rankings, but getting votes once again. Syracuse trying to prove themselves, to bring themselves back up into that ranking, and Clemson trying to fight back into this game, but again, has had such a difficult time finishing and putting Syracuse in a good position to succeed.
Clemson trying to get it to their hot hand, and Robinson, will she take the inbound for the long throw and maybe get it to Kramer? You're only down 1. You have to keep that in mind. This isn't, you need a 3, so you're going to give it to one of your best shooters.
And Kramer has a hot hand. We saw earlier in shoot-around. I don't think she missed for 3 minutes or something. So if you want to get it to someone, you want to get it to Kramer.
A team that struggles in the clutch, and Syracuse trying to have their largest comeback in the FLJ era, and also on a special day for Dyaisha Fair. 7.2 left. The pass to Robinson. Going to the hoop. It's deflected. The shot up. Final horn sound, Syracuse. What a comeback. And there still might be time. Both coaches now receiving word, we're not done yet, still an official review. Pump the brakes.
Robinson with the ball. 6 seconds left, tries to throw it to Nia Valentine. It's deflected, throws it back up. Latham grabs it. And time runs out.
They're thinking there was a reach-in foul to try to send Latham to the line. Fans saying, no time left, nothing there. Let's go home.
These tight games, that's something the refs definitely want to review and just make for certain if it was a foul there or not. At first I thought Nia Valentine from this angle might have gone out of bounds. Take another look at it under the basket.
I'm not seeing anything there that would result in any time being left on the clock.
Not seeing much contact on anything.
Kramer comes in very late. And even if there is, what are you going to put? 0.4 left on the clock? Still life, at least, for Clemson, but an improbable scenario.
Both teams waiting patiently to see what the refs have to say.
That's it. Syracuse, the largest comeback as history was witnessed. Dyaisha Fair, 3,000 points.